Now with more, the author of The Price of Principle, Harvard Law professor Alan Dershowitz, along with the attorney for former President Donald Trump, Alina Habba, is with us, and the co-host of The Five, Geraldo Rivera. Alina, let me start with you as the president's attorney. Let's talk specifically about the very same issues we brought up with Jonathan Turley. As it relates, send it back to the DOJ. They get to redact whatever they want out of it. I'm pretty certain it's not going to come back favorable in any way to the side of transparency.
I agree with you. I think that there won't be very much transparency. I would expect that we'll get a lot of black ink all over that piece of paper. If I was the DOJ, a Biden DOJ, I'd probably be redacting everything other than the word and the. So we're going to have to see what they kick back. The one good thing that this judge did say is that he will take a look at it. If it's too heavily redacted, he will do so himself. So he's encouraging them to try and give us some sort of clarity. I think there's a lot of people here that are just waiting, including the Trump team, to see what the basis was when you have a coordinating president. I mean, any person, but let alone a president. It just doesn't make sense.
You know, Professor, it's the same office, the same people involved in an Operation Crossfire Hurricane. I would think that Director Wray might have cleaned up that office, but apparently he has not. I think whatever justification they gave this magistrate, who had a clear bias against Donald Trump, I've got to believe they want it redacted for other reasons. That's what my gut tells me. What does your gut tell you?
Well, first of all, I predicted exactly what the judge would do this morning in an op-ed in Newsweek magazine, that he would split the baby, that he would say, yes, it has to be disclosed, but with redaction. But I have a different view from your two previous guests, from Jonathan. I think they're going to deliberately not redact a lot of unfavorable material regarding Donald Trump. They're going to leave that in, because there certainly is going to be material unfavorable if there was an affidavit for a search warrant. Then they're going to redact material that might be favorable to him. So it won't have anything to do with what's classified, what's unclassified, what's necessary for investigation. It will have much more to do with how they can redact and unredact in a way that favors them.
But they're letting the DOJ do it. And the DOJ doesn't want it redacted. They don't want this out in the public. Donald Trump does. Doesn't that tell you a lot?
It certainly does. But I bet the DOJ wants different things out in the public than Donald Trump does.
Well,
now,
they're leaking that already.
Of course they are, but it's much stronger if they actually can show it. Look, I agree with you. Along with Jonathan Turley, I've seen dozens and dozens of these redacted affidavits, and they just redact, redact, redact. And I also agree that the judge will overrule them, and then they'll have a right to appeal. The next question is, will they get a stay pending appeal, or will the information have to be disclosed? This is just the beginning of a process, and the Justice Department has too much control over it.
Geraldo, let's get your legal hat on, not your talk show host hat on, and get your analysis and your take.
Well, I'll leave the redacting or the non-redacting to your previous guests, including my other dear friend, Professor Alan Dershowitz. My big beef with the Justice Department behavior today in court was the fact that they made the claim that their investigation was in the early stages and that they feared that if they did not redact, that their witnesses or their confidential informants might be exposed. Now, they said it was in the early stages. My question is, if indeed the investigation is in the early stages, then how in the world did they get a search warrant that there was probable cause that a crime had been committed and justifying this extraordinary raid for the first time in American history, an American president's residence, a former president's residence, in this unprecedented act was invaded by 30 FBI agents. So it's either in the early stages or they had probable cause that a crime had been committed. It seems to me that you can't have both. You've got to pick a lane.
Alina, how do you feel about that?
That's 100% accurate, and I think you brought up a good point in your monologue, Sean. This is The Russia hoax team, this is the same people that are involved there. Strzok, Lisa Page, all these individuals have tainted the FBI, and these are the same individuals that have been going after Donald Trump since the day he came down that escalator. And it will not stop as long as he's leading in the polls.
Last 35 seconds. You're a professor. You get the last 35 seconds.
Yeah. Let's remember, everybody out there predicted that Reinhart would just affirm the Justice Department and not disclose anything. I predicted that he would do exactly this, that he would redact part. So I'm going to give him a presumption of credibility and expect that he will actually accurately
He trashed Trump in social media, and he questioned his morality, Professor. It doesn't get any more personal than that.
Yeah.
I agree, but I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. He did a very good thing today.
I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt that he hates Trump. It's obvious. He's put it in writing.
But look, everybody predicted that he would not disclose, and he did. That you have to give him the benefit of the doubt for that. Let's wait and see.
The only reason is, in my view, he split the baby, to use your term, because he needed an out, because he should have never taken the case, because he previously recused himself from the other case. I want an A+ in this class,
What if
Professor.
there was a crime
I give you an A+, Sean.
Thank you, Alina. I appreciate it. All right, thank you all. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.